back to another one of my YouTube videos, and in this YouTube video I'm going to be trying out Google Gemini's 2.5 Flash and 2.5 Pro with airplane stuff. Like, I'm going to ask it questions about airplanes and all that. So, like, I'm just going to say hi and send it in here and have that. So yeah, I'm going to make it explain, well, make a deep research, no, that's all. Make a deep research file about MH370. So I'm just going to ask it that. Then it generates it, which we're going to look at this, which a lot of it. It generated a lot of this. So, like, let's see here. Looks good so far. So I'm just going to make so. Come on, how were you able to do it in this? Generate audio overview. So I just need to put generate. That's not how I spell, but I'll just go audio overview. There you go. Okay, I'm just going to keep it at that, and I'm going to tell me what you can do. Let's see that. Let's see what this can do after. Okay, new chat. How about I just copy this? So, like, I take this, copy, new chat, put this in here, I'll paste. Damn. So, it's scanning, like, basically the whole entire internet that has Airbus A380 in its name, basically. Well, I guess I could just watch YouTube. Well, that's good.
I heard of which Will.i.am had when he decided to make the smartwatch. Will.i.am came in very strong with this product. He told us how it...
You know, right now I'm having Google Gemini. The next one will be ChatGPT or GPT or whatever. ChatGPT. Because, like, this Google Gemini is a whole entire series that I'm planning on doing. And ChatGTP is a whole entire series that I'm planning on doing. So basically, I'm planning on having like multiple videos of this because this is just the 2.5, and I have like a lot of conversations with like Google Gemini. I already have some like at least at least 20 Google Chats. Well, not Google Chats, but like something with good old Google Gemini. So yeah, actually, let's go down here. So yeah, but I'm going to probably have a lot of conversations with Google Gemini. Like in this video, I already had 1, 2, 3. And if I have like 5 per Google Gemini episode, that would be like a lot of conversations if I have a lot of episodes about this. So yeah.
The other day I received a very interesting email from a man named Derek Carter. He said, "Hello, I am with Hope You Are Fine." That doesn't make any sense. You were with Hope You Are Fine? Anyway, he says, "My name is Derek Carter and I work with a bank here in Cayman Islands." Just what, Cayman Islands? He said, "I'm contacting you for an important business proposition which I strongly believe will be of greater benefit to both of us." Okay, here we go. I'm all ears. "I solicit your kindness in assisting me to execute the transfer of a huge deposit with our bank here in Cayman Island belonging to my late client. I'm constrained by insufficient information about me to express in full the main objectives of this proposal. However, you shall be furnished with details once your consent is received. Looking forward to your earliest reply. Thanks, regards, Derek Carter." Well, this is intriguing. Who is this late client of his? So I responded and I said, "Hello, can you tell me more about this proposition?" They replied, "Dear Benjamin Dover." Yes, this original email was sent to Ben Dover, a fake email address that I created for the sole purpose of baiting scammers. And there it goes on to say that this late client is Mr. Alexander Dover, and he has a private portfolio in the bank that he left no next of kin. But you both share the same last name. Yes, it's worth $13,250,000 United States dollars. Holy crap, this Alexander Dover is loaded. Derek says whether you know him or not, the bank is mandated you to contact any of his relatives and present him or her as the next of kin to claim all the assets he left in our bank. Alright, apparently there's this rich dude named Alexander Dover with no one to inherit his money. But Derek Carter thinks that I might be related, so he's on the case. He says, "Let me ask you these questions. I completely trust. Will you be honest and sincere with me?" I mean, those are basically the same question, but I respond and say, "Yes, you can trust me. Can you tell me more about Alexander?" Derek says he is a private jeweler and a businessman par excellence who invests in all sorts of commercial transactions, but lived most of his business life in Brazil and Canada. Died in Brazil in a car accident with his wife and 2 daughters. Oh my gosh, I said, that breaks my heart. I never even knew him. Is there an obituary or photo of him? Derek says there's no obituary of him, but we have the death certificate. This I have to see, so I asked, would you mind sharing his death certificate? Because I can't share his death certificate with you for security reasons unless you have met all the requirements as expected by my bank with the attorney. Okay, I said, I understand. How do I meet the requirements? Derek goes off, saying he needs some personal info so he can introduce me to his lawyer. He says it's important that you do not disclose this matter to a third party, as secrecy should be the watchword in this transaction.
I just found how to do that. So, exit out of that since that's gonna be in here. So, yeah.
I give your details, I will file them with our bank and also let you know when to write the bank regarding this claim. So I need to get Derek some identification that I really am this Ben Dover, a possible relative of Alexander Dover. So I make up a fake address and I create a fake ID and hopes it will be good enough to lay claim to Alexander Dover's big fortune. And Derek falls for it. He says, I will proceed to present your details to my bank as the next of kin to our late client, Mr. Alexander Dover, later today, and as soon as your application is given due consideration, I will let you know when to contact my bank regarding the claim. Don't feel fear to share the funds, 50% each, and I'm trusting you to not betray me since you will be in a position to receive the inheritance as soon as legal documents are completely presented to my pay. This sleazeball, he's only contacting me because he wants to keep 50% of the fortune for himself. Hiccups.
Step one is to figure out what we actually need to fix. If you've ever done any driving around the country, it's probably pretty obvious America's roads have a serious problem. Between the potholes, crumbling bridges, and outdated, unsafe designs, something needs to happen. And it turns out something is happening. But as with most big problems, the solution isn't as straightforward as you might expect. When it comes to fixing the roads, we can split up what we need to fix into two categories. First is the physical condition of the roads themselves. This is repaving roads to be smoother, fixing potholes, and repairing bridge structures. And second is the functionality of the roads. This is how roads were laid out, how intersections function, and even how lane markings are painted. There's undoubtedly a problem with both, but the good news is we can repave roads, and we can change how they're designed. We'll look at some real changes happening, but in order to understand the solution, we need to look at what created this problem in the first place. When we think about how roads were built in the U.S., it's important to understand that we didn't start with roads like this. In the early 20th century, American cities were built around walking, streetcars, and railroads. People lived close to where they worked, and the streets were designed for everyone. But things started to change in the 1950s. After World War II, America experienced a massive boom in car ownership, and soon the car became the top priority when people designing streets. This began to change the landscape of American cities. Highways began to come through urban neighborhoods, the streets were widened, and historical buildings were destroyed to create massive parking lots, all to make driving more convenient. At the time, cars were seen as the future, so building around the car was seen as building for the future. But as population continued to grow and decades have passed, we're beginning to realize the problems that were caused by building this way. One of the biggest problems is that these roads are unsafe. Last year, over 40,000 people died on roads in the U.S. Historically, the top priority for designing roads was to move cars as fast as possible. And as a result, we now have a country full of wide roads to accommodate lots of traffic moving at high speeds. Many of the intersections have proven to be dangerous as well, with 40% of crashes in the U.S. occurring at.
Well, this is it.
Okay, today we're diving.
Well, it had this knock-on effect. By the time the A380 was finally...
It was still amazing, right? Double-decker.
Download.
Intersections, but safety isn't the only problem with how the U.S. built its roads. They're also falling apart, and it's proved to be really expensive to maintain all of them. Asphalt and concrete inevitably break down over time, especially in regions with harsh weather, and the way we've designed the roads directly impacts how much it's going to cost to maintain them over the years to come. A decision to build a wider road also comes with a lifelong commitment to maintain that wider road. More materials, more hours of labor, and ultimately more money. And today, a lot of local governments are struggling to pay for this road maintenance on roads that were designed decades prior by engineers who didn't design the roads for today's needs. But it's not just about safety or crumbling roads. There's a deeper issue at play here. The condition of America's roads are a reflection of what we prioritize. And if we want to fix America's roads, we have to start with changing our priorities. There's a place that did just that. This is Hoboken, New Jersey, and for the past 7 years, they haven't had a single traffic fatality. They did it by making their streets really simple. Many of the streets are just one-lane, one-way streets, and they've minimized the distance pedestrians have to cross by eliminating parking at intersections, which also greatly improves visibility and increases safety. Many of the intersections make all drivers stop too. and the crosswalks and bike lane are well marked. All of this keeps speed slow and orderly, and as a result of prioritizing safer road design, they've actually saved lives. But the reality is, the country as a whole still has a long way to go, and not everyone lives in the city. Rural America deals with the same issue of wanting safer, well-maintained roads. Well, changes happen in them too. This intersection in
Hi,
Ohio
Bella.
saw a high number of serious crashes, so the state did something unique with it. This is a peanut-shaped
Hi.
roundabout, and it functions the same as a regular roundabout. The reason behind the shape was to minimize impact on the existing properties of the intersection and keep a wide enough radius around the curves to allow for large vehicles to maneuver through the roundabout. Roundabouts, regardless of their shape, have proven to be a great safety improvement in rural areas
Okay,
where
today
high-speed
we're
roads
diving
like these
into-
intersect, and they're
Okay,
continuing to
today
grow
we're diving in-
popularity around rural America. Most
Okay.
are just simple one-lane roundabouts like this, making them easy and non-intimidating for drivers who might be scared off by larger roundabouts in more urban areas. Changing our priorities to create a network of roads that makes sense for America is going to mean something different no matter where you go. It doesn't mean getting rid of cars or turning every intersection into a roundabout. It's about finding the solution that will create safer roads for everyone. But here's the unfortunate reality. Rebuilding America's roads isn't going to happen overnight. It's going to happen in pieces, and it's going to take time. Projects can take years or sometimes decades to be completed, and this can be incredibly discouraging. But that doesn't mean progress isn't happening. One example of this is a recent $1 billion grant that's part of the bipartisan infrastructure law, which is making real changes across the country. This grant specifically is funding projects to improve safety and connectivity, like redoing the street in Milwaukee, Wisconsin to add protected bike lanes and improve pedestrian connections, reconfiguring the 6-way intersection in Memphis, Tennessee, improve 130 miles of rural roads in Michigan, implement safety improvements at 77 intersections across Los Angeles, build sidewalks and signalized crosswalks for school kids in Palm Bay, Florida, and more. This is one part of the total $5 billion in grants dedicated over 5 years as part of the Safe Streets and Roads for All program, created under the infrastructure law. However, you don't always hear about the progress being made, and sometimes that progress can get lost or distorted by political bias in the media. A crucial aspect of being a part of fixing America's roads is looking at the facts, being informed, and thinking critically. Thankfully, there's a tool that can help you do just that by cutting through the bias in the media to help you be a more informed reader. As a sponsor of this video, Ground News. Ground News is a website the news you consume. Go check out Ground News. Another key aspect of understanding the problem is understanding the system. The majority of the roads in the U.S. are managed by the government at some level. For example, a small local city street might be managed by your city or county government, while a large highway like an interstate, U.S. highway, or state highway will likely be managed by your state's Department of Transportation. Some roads are privately owned, like the roads within private subdivisions, and some toll roads too. Because of this, the decisions about what happens to these roads are made at different levels. This layered system means that fixing roads can be complicated, but it also means there are a lot of opportunities for you to get involved. Leading us to step 2, find projects. Projects are usually planned out years in advance. There are often opportunities for you to give feedback on the plans, but you might not even know what happened unless you do a little research first. You can find projects on your state's department's transportation website if it's a project happening on a state-managed road. The site layout will differ
Oh,
depending on
cool.
the state, and
So
some
this
are better
is
than others.
by
Sort
this
by
stuff
region,
right here.
and is there accepting public comment. Also look for places to sign up for email lists, as those will send you updates on projects that may be happening in your area. Cities and counties also do their own projects, so take a look on their websites as well for the same information. Many areas also have metropolitan planning organizations which organize and
Hi, Bella.
prioritize which projects should receive.
Bella,
It's also
look,
a good
code.
resource for projects that
No, Bella doesn't want to look at code.
public meetings that are scheduled to
Damn,
happen in person
this
show
is
up.
a lot of
Depending on the
code.
area, there may only be a
Preview.
couple of people show up to give their thoughts. Those people might not share the same ideas you have. The format of these meetings can obviously vary, but even if you don't want to speak, sometimes they just have
Whoa.
cards that you can fill out in person with your thoughts. After initial public input, transportation planners and engineers develop proposals and plans, which are then reviewed and modified based on further feedback. These projects typically have multiple rounds of review, so don't be discouraged if you feel your input wasn't immediately incorporated. It still might make a difference in the later stages. But there are obviously tons of projects that aren't being worked on yet, or you might not be able to find any information about it. But just because it doesn't have a feedback page doesn't mean you can't get feedback. Leading us to step 3, contact. For local roads, those employed by the road commissions or public works departments usually handle a lot of the planning, construction, and maintenance. Their contact information is often available on city or county websites, and you can contact them to voice your concerns or share input. Along with this, local elected officials have a say in what gets prioritized when it comes to infrastructure projects. These are the people who vote on budgets and allocate funding for local projects. They can also have greater influence in voicing their opinions to those working on the projects, both at the local level and at the state level. Of course, you can and should contact them if you're concerns, as that's what they're elected to do. Which brings us to step 4. Vote. Voting for candidates that prioritize your concerns is something really easy you can do to have a real impact. But the thing is, you need to figure out which candidates are actually prioritizing your concerns. And when it comes to infrastructure, there's a stake at nearly every level of government. But one of those arguably most important for solving issues in your community that affect your everyday life are local elections. These elections truly make a difference in what your community will look like. For example, they're the ones pushing for money to build a new roundabout at a dangerous intersection, or allocating part of the city budget to improve crosswalks at schools. The problem is, you may have no idea if these are the kinds of things that people running for local office care about, or who's even running for local office. Luckily, it's pretty easy to find out by looking at the sample ballot. Search for your county or state, and you should be able to find a list of who's running. From there, look up what their priorities are, or find their email and ask them what plans they have to improve infrastructure in your community. If you don't know what to say, there's a sample letter down below in the description that you can customize to address a specific intersection or road, or just get a better understanding of what they'll prioritize in office. To some, road improvements could look like adding 5 more lanes, and to others, it could look like creating bike lanes and expanding sidewalks. This gives you the chance to make them aware of what kind of things their constituents want to see, and it can bring awareness to issues they might not otherwise know about. But despite the need for improvements, a lot of times cities just don't have the money. This is where the importance of higher levels of government come in, because the state and federal government can provide the funding for projects that cities might not have on their own. For example, all of the projects I talked about earlier as part of the recent federal grant are happening because A, the bipartisan infrastructure law is providing the funding they may not have otherwise had, and B, local leaders saw the opportunity to apply for that funding. A lot of times, funding for projects is a collaborative effort between different levels of government. While it's easy to focus on political differences, it's important to recognize when effective policies and legislation lead to actual physical improvements in our communities that affect everyone, regardless of political party. Infrastructure is one of the most tangible ways to see the impact of who you elect. It's something that makes a real difference in your life. So when you vote, do research and think critically about the values and policies to get the things you want done. Finally, step 5 is to join forces. I think there's a huge shift happening in this country when it comes to improving the roads. Many people are realizing there are better ways of building roads that work better not just for cars, but for everyone. Because I also think that the shift happening is people wanting more options to get around. When we create safe and reliable modes of transportation that aren't just driving, people use them. And this change to our transportation system is happening right now. And there's no better time for you to become a part of it. An organization called Strong Towns has local chapters all over North America, and they focus on both.
Second part of my case video. I don't know if the YouTube video of me reacting to the first part is already out, but if this does make it to YouTube, go watch that part first. / let's start with Mike McKay, noted journalist / YouTube.
In this video, North Korea has once again completely suspended tourism just 3 weeks after the opening.
But Julie, that's wild. We were just talking about this, and I checked the county, like he just uploaded it.
Now find Mike, who is one of the first tourists to head into North Korea. British travel influencer Michael Kennedy.
Yeah, I did go through.
North Korea has stopped letting tourists into the country just weeks after the first Western visitors were allowed back in.
Do you think they did that because of the YouTubers that made videos? Because most of the people that ended up traveling to North Korea after it reopened were like journalists. Like, it's not just him. There was like 10, 20 different creators that were making videos of the random tours. And this was it was also like a different part of North Korea that you previously were not allowed to go to.
Is that not given a reason for the sudden suspension?
North Korea, a country ruled by a man who floods the media with propaganda, portraying himself as some kind of god, unstoppable, untouchable, bathed in a golden light. I mean, could you imagine if that level of self-worship came from a leader in the West? Oh, hang on, mate, how did that go there? Join me as I have unauthorised conversations with locals, drink snake whiskey. I'm thinking about to try this. I'm trying my best to stay out of trouble. In the least visited region of the most secretive country on earth, North Korea.
Well, I can't wrap my head around why Kim Jong-un does what he does. And I know it's like he grew up in that environment. It's a power trip for him. Like, he wants to have that power over the other people. But, like, dude, not all, but so many of the people that live in North Korea are, like, impoverished, unhappy, living terrible, shitty, like, borderline brainwashed lives. You're sitting there and you're preventing people from leaving. Like, you have to sit there and wonder, wow, this could be. Well, I'm not supportive of war, but in a situation like this, why do people not, because he's nukes, I'm going to answer my own question, why do people, like, big countries not, like, just roll through and be like, hey, you're not allowed to do weapons. Or even if you are, you've got to put up laws and be like, if they want to leave, they're allowed to leave. Nuclear war, and they have ties with China and Russia. Yeah, it's more complicated than, like, Kim Jong-un just being shitty to his people. They don't care enough. That just sucks. Like, being born in, there's so many other countries that it's rough being born in. Especially North Korea, though. If you're born in North Korea, like, you're not able to leave. You're basically doing what the government's going to tell you, right? And if you fail, you're going to be stuck having to farm and fend for yourself, and you can't even try to get a better life.
Welcome to another day in the bizarre world of North Korea. I mean, opening was going to show you outside, but there's a sealed shut. Razon, North Korea's northeastern tip, sits uniquely on the border of China and Russia. This gives it a major strategic edge in translation.
Deploying troops to Iraq. I thought they were deploying troops to Russia, Ukraine, and there were Russian troops. It was documented that Russian troops showed that North Korean soldiers immediately got addicted to porn the second they left North Korea, because they had unlimited internet access, and the first thing they did was just watch copious amounts of, like, adult level content.
That China does not have, and it hosts the only year-round ice-free port in the entire region, something that Russia does not have. I'm heading to a monument built by Kim Jong-il to honor North Korea's bond with Russia, unaware that I'm about to make a mistake that will cause me some
Belly, lick it downhill.
anxiety for the rest of the day.
Oh my god, like, we're gonna arrest him. Well, I would immediately be like, what is he gonna do though that's gonna get him in trouble?
So we weren't allowed to take pictures inside the main room, but it was essentially just a lot of pictures through the years of Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un in their various meetings with Vladimir Putin. Now, they had this visitor's book in the friendship house, and I was asked to write something. And like a friggin' 5-year-old on Christmas Day,
No, what is he like?
I wrote, I wish nothing but peace to the world. Because that's the kind of thing you write in a visitor's book. But it's safe to say that the North Korean...
Wait, that's not bad. Why is that bad? I thought he was gonna write, like, take down the North Korean dictatorship. I didn't... Nothing but peace to the world.
Yes, didn't take it very well.
What else do you write in the visitor book? What would you write in a North Korean visitor book? At the place of Russia, you could put something like, you would have to, like, blaze Russia. Or North Korea.
Maybe it's good.
Actually. Is he gonna just cross it out?
What do you think?
Do you think that this is the situation?
Well, it's like,
I thought you were just...
it's like there's peace between Korea and Russia. It's like peace. What do you think? Peace between countries. Because this is a friendship house. If not, we can get rid of it.
I don't want to write in your dumbass book. I mean, give me a fucking guideline. Like, that's not even his fault. Nah, that's dumb as hell. Like, you literally can't say that. Oh my god, he has to hold back in cracking now. I would get mad. I would get mad. I would get mad and then I would get scared. I would get mad and then I would get scared because I got mad, which means that he's probably upset as well.
Is the Russian, Korean, North Korean friendship built in 2002 after one of Kim Jong-il's meeting Russia in Paris. Under the construction,
Delete.
house threatens the friendship that we have with Russia now. I just don't think like a visitor's book. I said, can you write a message on the visitor's book? I said, I wish nothing but peace to the world. And they looked at each other.
Well, why do they look at that wrongly? Because there isn't current peace with South Korea and North Korea, but they also doesn't Kim Jong-un constantly talk about having a joint like Korean state?
But like, do we think that's an appropriate thing to write? And I was like, it's a friendship house.
No, it's because to the world that the United States is bad.
It's a friendship house. In hindsight, writing about world peace in a country that just a day earlier staged a spectacle with children dancing before thousands of intercontinental ballistic missiles was probably a bad idea. My guides like and saw this comment as a veiled critique of North Korea, suggesting that peace doesn't exist here. Is that how they interpreted it? I have no idea. I hope not.
I read a secret message that they wouldn't be able to decode. What's like a meme culture thing that they wouldn't get that could insinuate North Korea being shitty? North Korea is like using diamonds on a hoe in Minecraft, and I'd be like, dude, that's the best idea in the game. Right? Self-sufficient farming, like what a great idea, right? Not having a society where people get specialized on work and having everybody have to do everything themselves.
Sorry, I guess.
What a fantastic idea.
There was only one thing that was going to quench my anxious thirst. A massive North Korean brewery.
Ideology, technology, and culture must be based on sushi. Self-reliance.
This is the beer I've been drinking the past 3 days, and it's actually surprisingly really, really good. So this beer is super good in the UK. Last year we actually exported 200,000 bottles to China and Russia. So we were in China to buy the cream, the bottles here.
200,000 bottles is almost nothing. On a beer perspective, how much do you think, like, Heineken sells? 1.8 million pints of Guinness or so. And they're boasting that they exported 200,000 bottles. Honestly, dude, the 200,000 bottles in North Korea or to China and Russia, you might not even be able to find that.
In process, 200 bottles. This factory is famous for making special liquor made from one kind of flowers.
Oh, 100 kinds of flowers. Have you ever heard of a Jaeger bomb? Have you ever heard of an Irish car bomb?
Where are all the workers? They offer them.
Ooh, alcohol of 100 flowers. Ooh, that's interesting. Have you ever tried a Four Loko?
Yeah. You should have said dance to me.
Dance to me. Dance to me.
And this is where I gotta do a drinking match with a random old North Korean man. I put him to fucking bed. I put him to fucking bed. Really, that's me?
Dance to me.
Sit there and go beer for beer with a 7-year-old North Korean man. Oh my god.
This is the Taekwondo Center here in Grasshopper Arcade. In the garden, until
Getting belligerently drunk challenge in the DPRK.
in high school. There's a compulsory lesson. Skill that has to be done.
Bye. I guess you got. Bye. Bye. What did you got?
I think for me, and probably most of the people watching this, the stuff that I'm the most interested in is everything that happens in between and outside of these stops, you know. So I don't know if the beer thing,
whatever else factory. I'm super interested in everything else that happens between what's going on outside the farms and the outside world and the villages.
Because all this is staged at the end of the day. Do these things actually exist? Yeah. Are they these facilities?
Okay, what am I episode?
The tour where they put their country the best life possible.
See it, get a little glimpse of it every now and then. It's very, very interesting, and that's the real stuff. You know, I'm not saying this isn't real, of course it is. It's just tailor-made.
It'd be like you giving somebody a tour of New York and then just turning their head every time they see a homeless person or a drug addict and not bringing them to the poor and impoverished areas and only bringing them to like the cool, niche, hip, expensive bars, clubs, and hotels. I mean, like, look at our lovely city. Isn't New York City the best city ever? There's nothing wrong with the city. Like, you can do that with any place ever and then just make it seem great. I don't know, whenever I watch videos like that, I'm always like intrigued, but at the same time you can tell that they're like eating into the punches entirely. You know what I mean? Are there people that are that good at like mixed martial arts? 100%. But those videos that you see, I'm not even saying North Korea. I'm saying most videos you see of people like performing martial arts, a lot of the time they have somebody that's going like moving in the exact positions they need somebody. Yeah, it's like WWE. Like they're gonna go, hey, I'm able to do this if you were to literally set yourself up exactly how I need you to. Otherwise, if you just like held your hand here, that would fuck up my entire. It's like a combo move in a video.
Considering my first British tourist in 5 years to step foot inside North Korea, the guys that are part of it, they didn't really, they were allowing me to take some videos, take pictures, stuff like that. When there's something going on to see, they just say, yeah, cool. You say, yeah, cool. Thank you to Marshall Kingdom for that moment. The King dynasty, like a god. Like a god. Did I say like a god? Did I say like Marshall Kingdom? They have to say God.
They have zero religion in North Korea. We're an atheist state, although its constitution guarantees free exercise of religion, provided that religious practice doesn't intrude or enforce its harms to slavery. I doubt the majority of people.
Can't just say they're like gods, man. Interesting. So I say weird.
Yeah, don't they have it's weird. No, it is weird. It's not interesting. They are it's not like under their own will, they're basically like born and raised with raised their leader. Don't they have Kim Jong-un's father involved in a museum and his dead body just sits on like a bed of flowers and they say that he's immortal? His body's pumped with fucking preservatives. He's dead as shit. He's never coming back. Like, it's like he's effectively been taxidermy.
Saturday night, it's bitterly cold. Let's go get drunk on North Korean booze. How are you, sir? Guys, nice to meet you.
I'm gonna ask a question that might sound really stupid. It's gonna sound really stupid. Do you think, I don't want to sound, I really don't want to sound rude when I say this. Do you think North Korean people have seen other races outside of like pale white Europe? Like the average North Korean person has probably never seen a black person, or like Hispanic people, or anything. Right? because I've also never seen somebody that films themselves in North Korea that isn't like British.
International hotel built Brazil after it became a special economic zone. And it was built in 1998. And it's a pretty cool place. They've got a cool bar and buildings everywhere. Shit, so let's have a look.
These are it's hot to get weird ones if you're black in Asian countries.
Bars. They got double bars. You got one beer in each bar. What do you think?
So not even just North Korea.
Exactly.
Well, I've been told too, if you go to like remote areas in Asia as somebody that is of a race that is nowhere, common, that they will just all stare at you.
The cameras make me realize by now which really
Like there's this one, maybe it's a bodybuilder, but I remember there's this one influencer that I used to watch that went to like a more rural place in China, and he had like full-on dreads, was shirtless with like a 12-pack, and I'm telling you, somebody needs to find this video. He was walking in public. It was like he parted the fucking seas. Everyone just stopped doing what they were doing and went and just stare at it. Bro, because he's shirtless, I think it's a mixture. Like they've never seen somebody of his race that in shape.
If you get a call from a number that looks official, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is. Because scammers are able to spoof their numbers to look like they're someone that they're not. They can spoof any number. The IRS, FBI, Microsoft, your mom, anyone. I've been following a team of scammers for several weeks, watching how they do this. So all of you, but first, let's give you a full overview of how this scam works and how they get to this point. Scammers will lure you in with a pop-up on your screen that says your computer is at risk and you need to call Microsoft or Apple to get it fixed.
Please call support immediately.
Now, how do they do this? Well, they create websites, malicious scripts. If you stumble across one of these websites, they can force your browser to display this fake pop-up. So now you think that your computer is locked up and you need to call a number which connects you with the scammers.
Thank you for calling.
These types of scammers operate out of India in the middle of the night. They will tell you that they need to connect you to the Microsoft Secure server, and then they have you download AnyDesk or Ultra Viewer. These programs have nothing to do with any Microsoft Secure server. They're just screen control software. When you download these programs and give the scammers your ID number, scammers can now control your computer. And they're just going to run a bunch of commands and feed you a bunch of BS about how you've got hackers in your network.
The problem that you're facing is a cyber attack.
And then they're going to tell you that your bank account might have also been compromised by these foreign intruders. Another way they convince you of this is to have your bank deliver the bad news. So they'll tell you to find your bank's phone number.
What I'm going to do for you is that I'm going to verify this number, then I'm going to transfer your call to your banking institution, which is Bank of America, okay?
And then one of their coworkers will call you using the bank's actual number. Now, how are they doing this? Well, the scammers are making their calls with VoIP software. VoIP stands for Voice over Internet Protocol. The VoIP software converts a phone call from an analog one to a digital signal. All these scammers are making and taking calls using laptops. Calls are then routed to a private branch exchange, or PBX for short. This is a service that configures internal phone lines within an organization, and by tweaking the PBX files, you can display an outgoing call under any number that you want. I'll demonstrate this for you right now using the scammer's very own software. First, let's find the Apple support phone number. Okay, remember this number. I've then had my team members, Xandro and Knight, who are the real brains to cover all this, use the Apple support number as the display number, then call my personal cell phone. Let me show you what happened next. Apple's calling. This can't be legal. Now, let me show you another example of how chaotic this technology can be. My friends at Trilogy Media do live streams almost daily where they call up scammers.
There you guys sent me an invoice here for $500 some dollars here.
And I thought it would be funny to see what would happen if Bart, a call from Ashton, while he was sitting right next to him, live in front of all of their subscribers.
That's a mess with her.
not feeling it. I'm usually subscription king, but today I feel like I want to upgrade a little bit. It's a holiday season coming, so just save a little bit of money. He might be distracted because he's talking to a scammer.
I will be calculating this order directly from the phone. Because I look for the phone. I will
He said, oh, see, who knows it's on it?
hello.
Yeah, hello? No. I'm not. I'm trying to play the computer. Look at, you know what? Hold on 1 second. What's happening? Oh, yeah, I can hear right now. Yeah, right here. Right here. Yes. Okay. There you go. So call Ashley from Art. Who just called you? Someone is calling me, spoofing you. He's calling you. How the f*** is my number? But it would buy my spam blocker because it's in my contacts with you. And after a few minutes of letting them sweat, I finally gave clean. Did I make you wet your pants? Oh, it's terrifying. It was so bad. We were screaming. You guys just showed a perfect example of how I can spoof a number and freak someone out. Now, there are legitimate reasons why someone might choose to spoof a number when making an outbound call. Businesses could do this if their employees are doing remote work and they need to display the company's main number. Service providers might spoof the number when making reminder calls so their clients recognize the number. But phone call spoofs are regulated by the Federal Communications Commission, and any calls that are spoofed with the intent to defraud or harm are illegal. This technology can be extremely abusive when used the wrong way. Because if you get a call from your bank telling you that your account has been compromised and that you need to move money from one account to another, you'll probably do it. It's happening to victims every day in the United States. And by the way, if you ever see something like this pop up on your computer, all you need to do is just clear your cookies, or reinstall your browser, or reset it to the default settings. Now, the access that I have allows me to see the first stage of the scam, where scammers convince their victims that their computer has been hacked. And what I want to do is prevent any victim that I can from getting to the second stage, where they're contacted by their bank, because then it's completely out of my hands. And getting in touch with these victims is sometimes very hard, because scammers will give strict instructions to the victim to not make or receive any calls to anyone since their phone lines have been hacked.
You look neat.
And honestly, the 10 greatest thumbnails of all time.
One of the most important parts of any YouTube video has nothing to do with the video itself. Or it is the thumbnail, of course.
It's like 90% of it. If your thumbnail sucks, you get no views. That's just, it's literally that cut and dry. You could have the best video ever, and you could have the most entertaining YouTube video ever, and if it's just like a thumbnail of a random like still screen playing the video, and you're just like, because that's YouTube's auto-generated thumbnails, by the way. What about Dante's thumbnails? When you're somebody that's known on YouTube, like Voice Critical or Dante or somebody, it's easier to get clicks just because of your name releases, right? It's their style of just having no thumbnails and it works. But for 99% of YouTube, you need a thumbnail.
This is the first thing that you see.
Especially for new people.
And decide whether or not someone will click and watch your video ever.
28-year-old boomer reacts to Gen Z memes. Water in my mouth. Go! Time go to whoa.
Oh, dude, I haven't laughed that hard in so long. Today, every single time that I laugh, I lose $100. The way that it works is that whenever this video gets posted, there's going to be Amazon codes at the bottom of the screen. It'll be first come, first serve. Oh, also, if you guys didn't know, I've been training archery. It's a little bit off topic. You guys know I love Stormy. I would never put Stormy in danger unless I knew I had better aim than a stormtrooper. I lag. You are watching a master at work.
Dang it! Dang it! This is rigged, bro!
So we got a motorcycle? You guys know I used to have motorcycles, but my feet couldn't touch the ground. They're the fuse. Hey! Dude, I can't do it. I can't do snakes, I can't do spiders, I can't do meaningful relationships, you name it. Get the credit roll.
Dogs are trainable.
That must be a great question. They taught this son of a bitch how to drive.
Okay. Wouldn't recommend it. Would not recommend letting your dog drive. Turns out they actually don't have a prefrontal cortex. You guys call me egghead. What do you call this guy? Egg Lord? What?
Daddy, I made biscuits.
Dude, babies freak me out. R.I.P. Skelly. Homie really had to show us the rule third. What's going on here? Okay, yeah.
Don't break that. It's okay.
Why do I feel like there was like some curse story behind this? Just blew up half these balloons, we'll blow up the rest later. Is it green screen or how did he do that? That's why I love this trend. This trend is great. Just shot half of up, just shot half of song. I'll leave it to the TikTokers, honestly. Okay, we got a, oh my gosh. Bro, that cat's not okay. Either he had way too much catnip or it's a dog. One of the two. Do I know what SCP stands for? Scientific Containment Procedures? Scientific Contaminated Persons? Skinwalker Secure Contained Project. Super creepy project. Okay, we got a shark with a cowboy hat saying yeehaw. Right on. They are kind of the wild horses of the sea, if you think about it. The horses of the sea are seahorses. Okay. No, dude. No. Have you ever seen a seahorse give birth? All I'm gonna say, dude, it's like okay, we got a little cookie video. So loud. Was this like hot dogs and cheese going into some butter? It's glass! No duh! It's a glass bowl! Okay, I made your rotisserie chicken. No? Those 2 dogs. 13 days ago, 616,000. What the heck is this? Okay, really? Dang it, dude. That sucks. We like Han Solo though, right? He's one of the good guys, right? I haven't seen Star Wars. And I own a $2,000 Stormtrooper, but, you know. Okay, yes! That's what I like to see. When you try it first, you try it again harder. Go get it, buddy. You almost got it, bud. Just one more try. These meats taste good. Yeah, they're pretty delectable tonight, honestly. You have very beautiful hair. Oh, God, bro. Here we go. Wait a minute. Zoom in and enhance. The tears and everything, bro.
What is this? What is this? Did you eat all the Pop-Tarts? What is this, King? Did you do this? Did you do this? Or was it you? Did you eat all the Pop-Tarts? Christian, did you eat all the Pop-Tarts? Or did you eat all the Pop-Tarts? Did you eat all the Pop-Tarts? You ate all the Pop-Tarts. Who ate all the...
All my dogs, am I right, Drake? The thing that I'm stuck on right now is I actually can't tell who did it. Like, if this was a game of Among Us right now, I don't know who I'm voting out.
Hello. Listen, I know you may be feeling down right now, but I just need you to remember one thing.
If you fart on me, I'm gonna be
Life
so...
is short.
Then I'm shorter.
You are shorter. Hello.
And you are predictable, my friend. Okay, Family Guy, Skinny Peter. No way this is real. Family Guy did not agree to this. Yeah, definitely not. Actually, maybe they did.
You lied to.
No. No. I feel like I'm actually losing touch with reality. The more the days go by, the less I feel like I know what's happening. You know what I mean? Alright, we're talking about cat. One in chat if you think the cat blows up. Use in chat if you think the cat falls over. The reason chat if it's a rickroll. Okay, here we go. Let's see what it is. I think it blows up. Oh my god. daddy wasn't an option. I didn't know Cat was gonna go daddy on us like that. Wow. Maybe I need to get back into viewing. Maybe looks maxing is for me. I would let this guy lead me into war. Alright, ta-da. Give me a little bit. Okay. Bro, to be fair, I'm 28 and I still do this on accident. I don't know why they even include that side of the lid. What is that even? What side of? Why is that side of the lid even an option? Oh, you guys remember the Daniel phase? You guys remember that? Remember when that was a thing? We got, yeah, that's not good. What is that, and why is he bursting through the door right now? Okay, I just trusted. Alright. In front of nobody. When someone is crying and you don't know what to do, I got you some toothpaste. Honestly, this would kind of break the ice a little bit, you know? I don't know if I could not laugh at I got you some toothpaste, you know? Or me and my 80s talking to my grandson I left behind. Dude, that's actually kind of crazy to think about. What are we gonna be like when we're in retirement homes? I'm gonna be unhinged, dude. I'm gonna be sitting there like, left back to my glass, right back to my glass. It's gonna be over. Gary Spotter, do you even reach Leviosa? Right on. He's our little comedian. Do not expect that. Objects in motion stay in motion, and when I see motion, I'm
Too expensive. Slingshot, too conspicuous. Enormous wood moors, too Greek.
Here, gone, Sully, right? Is that his name? Sully, and I forget this one's name. Is this just going on downhill quick or what? Are we just losing our minds or what's going on here? That's just a nightmare. Careful, dude.
Why did it sound like the Minecraft glass breaking sound?
I can't relate. I've never played Plants vs. Zombies or whatever crazy mobile ad game this is. Can I come over and stare at you like this? That is not desirable. And I know that this is before, and I'm wondering if this is AI generated or what. Is there more behind this? Isn't it cute when you find a cat resting on the roof of your car? Oh my god. Also, no, dude, this freaks me out. I had a deer cat run into the road the other day. And it literally, the closer I got, like the more it just started going towards the tire. I don't know what it was trying to do. It was just, it had like terrible survival instincts, honestly. That didn't get me, but that was good, dude. That was good. Okay, here we go. How are you? You're 5'7"? 5'7", bro? Get over here. I didn't do that.
Well, that's gonna be the end of this video, and bye.